In that way.
I want you to talk more about antibiotics and exactly what they do to the gut bacteria in terms of wiping things out and whatnot.
Yeah.
And should people take a probiotic like while they're on antibiotic?
Great
what
question.
Probiotic, how long, all that stuff?
Yes. So antibiotics are definitely not selective, and I'm not anti-antibiotics. In certain situations, there are people who need them for certain conditions. I think they're way over prescribed. So we do want to be really careful and work with somebody who's definitely giving us the right recommendation when the time is right. So we do have too much exposure to antibiotics that are kind of working like stealth bombs. If we think about the population of the bacteria in there, we take antibiotics, it's sort of like killing the bad, we're gonna kill off some good at the same time. So I always recommend that we take probiotics with antibiotics. You don't want to take them at the same time of day. So probiotics are best taken with food, just like we would eat probiotic rich foods. That's how they're going to make it through the digestive system intact and get to where they need to go, which is lower digestion. Right. So antibiotics with food at times probiotics with food at times away from the antibiotics.
Okay, that makes sense. I know sometimes people start eating fermented foods or they'll start taking probiotics, and you kind of alluded to this earlier, they'll start to have digestive side effects. Why is that?
So we definitely have those unique populations in us, and as we bring in different strains that are coming from our food or from supplements, there's going to be that interaction, that war that you alluded to earlier. So we need to be careful. Sometimes we just need to back it up and go more slowly, and sometimes it's the wrong form of bacteria for that person. We work with a number of people who can't take in any probiotics because there's so much dysbiosis. So we have to start very slowly, maybe even with 1/4 of a teaspoon of a coconut probiotic drink that's therapeutic, and work our way up. But our side effects, so to speak, from probiotics is what's called die-off. We're getting rid of some bad stuff and we're bringing in some good stuff. And that die-off, people often ask me, like, what's die-off going to look like? And my answer is it's going to look different for every single person. So it usually looks like an exacerbation of your symptoms. So if you already have digestive systems, it's going to show up that way. I have done intensive probiotic therapy on myself just to see what die-off would feel like. I went with really high dosages at one time because I like to experiment on myself that way. And for me, it shows up as a little fatigue. Fatigue isn't something I feel, but my digestive issues I don't feel in my gut. They show up more with my autoimmune condition, Hashimoto's. So it represents itself for me as, oh, I'm a little bit more tired than I usually am. And that's when I know I need to back it up or plow through. I'm usually a fan of backing it up.
So you back off and you wait for the symptoms to dissipate?
I will back off to a dosage that my body can handle and then titrate up very slowly until I'm at a therapeutic dose that I feel I'm going to stay at for some time. And then I really am a fan of then making sure I'm bringing in different strains. So if I can't do a stool analysis and see what I need, I'm kind of always playing with the ecosystem within. How is it that I can feed different populations? Because we need diversity in our bodies.
And you're increasing your dosage every couple of days, weeks? How's that?
That depends, I know, what on the individual. So again, it's really dependent on working with somebody who can be in that dynamic relationship with you. I often, like I said, we're starting very low, and if I'm at the place with someone where they're not symptomatic, based on that, then we can try going up a little bit. And I may even put those at different times of the day, breakfast and dinner, to separate it a little bit. And then it's really this art form of how do we play with that so we can do the reparation. There's really no reparation in health that can happen without restoring some good bacterial balance in population.
So you start low and you go slow.
Yes,
Gotcha.
Start low, go slow.
Give us